also remember this. Remember who led the Republican Party in 2024 to a House majority, none other than the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, and he is our guest this morning on the Mike Gallagher Show. Speaker Johnson, first of all, it's an honor to have you here. We're very appreciative of your time today. What you're doing is incredible. You're amazing. Everybody likes you. Mitch McConnell likes you. Donald Trump likes you. Everybody in the Republican Party likes you because you're doing a great job. So I just want to congratulate you on, you've only been Speaker for a little over a year, but boy, what you and the Republicans have accomplished is amazing. And what I really want to ask you this morning is, what do we have to expect out of the first 100 days? Because I think it's going to be great.
A lot, Scott. Thanks for that very kind intro. Everybody likes you, my friend. I just wanted to say before we get started, you're killing it on CNN. I mean,
Thanks,
look,
man.
I flip through there on occasion. I want to see what's happening. And I'm so glad you're holding the line for our side. And sometimes you have to do it on your own, and that's not an easy assignment. So I hope everybody doesn't underestimate the job you're doing, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So,
honored to hear that.
Thanks for that. Yeah, look, we did achieve a big thing in this election. You know, everybody in the media, the Democrats, they were all mocking us all year. As I was traveling around the country, I wound up going to do campaign events, over 360 campaign events in more than 250 cities across 40 states last year. Logged enough miles to circle the globe 5.5 times. We left it all on the field, and all of us did. All the House Republicans did the heavy lift, and we got it done. So we kept the House majority. We, of course, got the majority in the Senate, and Donald J. Trump is being returned to the White House. So we will have unified government beginning in January. And my goodness, what a blessing this is for the country, because we got to turn this thing around. We got to save the country and fix everything. So it will begin right out of the gates. That reconciliation process is very important, and people will hear that term a lot in the coming months. But what it means in layman's terms is that there's one mechanism in the United States Senate that allows a party to advance its priorities without having to get the 60 vote threshold. That's been a killer for so many things, policy changes that we've wanted over the years. But the budget reconciliation process is the way to do it with a bare majority vote. We have 53 Republicans in the Senate now. We can do it with 51 votes. And we should have all of them. So what we do is, when you're reconciling a budget that has been passed by Congress and you're working to reduce expenses or cut regulations, that kind of thing, so long as it's related to the budget and to that fiscal policy, it can fit through that window. So we've been working on this for about a year, Scott. We've been developing, forgive me, I'm from Louisiana, so I explain everything in a football or a hurricane metaphor. Let me give a football metaphor. We've been designing the playbook, understanding that and believing that we would be given the ball back in January in Congress. And so the playbook is well designed. We're integrating that with the new head coach in this analogy who's been elected, Donald J. Trump. I'm the quarterback in this metaphor, and the team is going to be ready to take the field. And you'll see lots of things right out of the blocks, because that first 100 days is going to be critical for us turning the country around.
So you got 220 Republicans, 215 Democrats. You feeling confident that the Republicans who've come back to Washington in your conference are going to stick together? I mean, to pull off this plan, we have to have party unity. And I hope what the people in the conference are interpreting the election results as is a mandate from the American people for the Republican Party to be unified and to act on behalf of the American people. Do you feel that spirit? Is that the vibe in the conference right now?
It is the vibe. Look, I'm talking to you just about an hour and a half after our weekly gathering of the House Republicans. Yesterday, I spent about an hour with the Senate Republicans. And this is a bicameral effort, right? The House Republicans and the Senate Republicans working together as one team, because we have to do that. When we have this moment, this rare moment in history of unified government where we control the White House, the Senate, and the House, we have to maximize the opportunity. So to your point, yes, with small margins, we have to keep everybody rowing in the same direction, working off the same sheet of music, or running the same plays, in my football metaphor, right? So it requires a lot of teamwork. It requires a lot of preparation to get to that point where that can be implemented. And we've been working on this for, like I said, almost a year, building up to this anticipation. Now, we'll have 31 new Republicans in the House. We're excited about the incoming freshman class. We flipped some seats out there, and we got those who retired, those seats replaced with Republicans. And they're being integrated right now into the team as well. So we'll come right out of the blocks and do some big things for the country. I mean, the priorities of the American people in that mandate you talked about are very well defined. The American people demand and deserve border security. So we'll come right out of the blocks to do that. And President Trump, of course, made it a top priority on the campaign trail, and we got to deliver on it. We will get right to energy policy. If we can restore American energy dominance again, and we can under President Trump's leadership, that's the key not only to our economy, but to national security as well. We all know the reasons why. And then we'll be reducing inflation and ushering in a pro-growth economy. We've got to make sure that the largest tax increase in U.S. history doesn't happen at the end of next year, because that's when the Trump-era tax cuts would expire. So we've got to make sure all that's taken care of. And we unpack it from there. There's lots of big priorities that we have for the people, and we'll roll it out methodically. A lot of this will happen in the first 100 days, as I said, with the reconciliation process. But we'll have a couple of different shots at that, and we'll do it throughout the year. So expect big changes. And I think these cabinet picks, by the way, are going to be a part of that as well.
So energy, unleashing American energy, extending the tax cuts, getting the border under control. I mean, my view is if the Republican Party working with Donald Trump gets all this done, as you all look ahead to the 2026 midterm, I know it's sort of obscene to keep talking about elections all the time, but you're in the House. You're always in cycle. But it strikes me that if the Republican Party can deliver, that's how he won. I mean, the stuff you laid out is how he won. If we can deliver on that, the Republicans are going to have no trouble in 2026 because people are crying out for leadership. We've had a weak president and a Democratic Party with priorities that are so far afield from what people are actually worried about. What I love hearing out of you this morning is the focus, the absolute focus. And so my hat's off to you for focusing the conference. We got about 30 seconds left here, Speaker Johnson. What should we be looking for between now and January 20th? I know the new Congress takes over at the beginning of January, but between now and when Donald Trump comes in, anything people should be looking for out of the House Republicans?
Yes, look, we're gonna work hard from the very first day. We begin on January 3rd in the House before the president takes office on the 20th. So we're going to send some things through and have legislation ready for him to sign. And of course, he'll come in with a flurry of executive orders as well. Lots of stuff on the horizon. We're excited. We got to also, by the way, restore peace through strength. He's already beginning that before he even takes office. And we got to slash regulations to get the economy going again. Lots will be happening, Scott. It's going to be an exciting time.
Mike Johnson hitting the ground running. Mr. Speaker, thanks for being with us. I'm Scott Jennings in for the great Mike Gallagher.